Hi everyone, Day here and welcome back to my Let's Play of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. In our last episode, Von Zeeks just banged his own gavel on our ideas of the Skulkin brothers possibly, potentially, maybe taking a shot at Mr. Winniebanks themselves and being the reason that he died. Well, because there is that one little tiny tidbit of an inconsistency of, well, obviously there was one bullet fired from his gun, Mr. Winniebanks, and then there was only one bullet fired from the Skulkin brothers' gun. So how do we fight such an inconsistency? Well, that's what we hope to accomplish today. So we'll hop right back into it. And I believe the judge was saying something. Yes. Yes, indeed it does. A single bullet from each. Now then, my learned friend. You yourself told the court only moments ago that these two brothers shot Mr. Herlock Sholmes right before your eyes. Yes, I did! I like how he's like, sir, yes, sir, basically. Oh my goodness, I think you'll find that if the single bullet that was fired from the brothers' gun hit Mr. Sholmes, it means... Winniebank got shot by the same gun, stop! Only one bullet, stop! Exactly. You shouldn't have been the one to prove this. We should have known this. Yes, this Nipponese street performer presented an ostensibly credible argument, however, it was never anything more than a diversionary trick with no hope of standing up to scrutiny. It was an idea, sir. Ugh, but I feel like, whenever we present ideas like this, it normally leads down a rabbit hole of potential possibility in a different direction. Because now he's brought up another idea that could have potentially happened. I still just would not understand how Gina would have gotten hold of Mr. Winniebank's gun, unless something was reversed. And reversed in what way? That's the part that I don't understand. Order! 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 Pray forgive the discourtesy of flinging the dregs of this hollowed nectar into the public gallery. Oh my gosh! Dude. That hurt the audience. Lord Von Zeeks! I wonder if someone was like, Lord Von Zeeks! Cut their hand. I hope not, but man, he just threw that bottle. Like, what is going on? This court needs to open its eyes. The accused, Miss Gina Lestrade, is no ordinary little girl. Despite her young years, she can, regrettably, no longer be described as a juvenile. How old is Gina? No, the person in the dock is far from a law-abiding citizen. She has a past riddled with criminal conduct. Of course, the maid! The truth is, the accused broke into the pawnbrokery on the night in question with loathsome intent. As we can see beyond doubt in this print, which depicts her threatening the victim with the murder weapon. This is something that I don't quite understand. Is that she has the gun, and then Mr. Winniebanks ended up with the gun again himself, right? Something's not adding up. And I have here in my possession one more piece of evidence the prosecution wishes to present. Really? That disc? I'll be taking that whatever it is. I'll make Gilda's down to the yard. Thank you very much. No, don't give it to them. It's mine, that is, mine. I'm sorry, miss, but anything belonging to McGilded has to be taken in as evidence. What does this have to do with anything? Yes, that music box disc. McGilded's music box disc. The very day before the hateful murder of Mr. Winniebank, the accused attempted to make off with this article which clearly doesn't belong to her. and with none other subtlety of a pickpocket, I might add, or by brute force and brazen impudence. Holy crap, Von Zieks! Good gracious! He's painting her in the darkest of lights. Make no mistake, any sympathy for the accused on account of her years is misguided and dangerous. There are no deaths to which this girl would not stoop if pushed, no crime she would not commit. The court forgets that fact at its peril. Man. With just a few sentences, this guy has literally just swayed everyone back to, like, hang Gina. I see. I think it would be prudent to take this music box into evidence, Counsel, as a grim testament to the defendant's character. Lord Von Zieks, Inspector Gregson? What? What? Yes, Inspector. We had a meeting yesterday at the yard with the prosecution service and, I think it was agreed that the disc wouldn't be used as evidence. What's this all about? Why is the inspector acting strangely? Were they able to hear what was on this disc? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. What is happening? That's the first time he said anything to Von Zieks at all. Really? I am unaware of any such meeting. But those were the instructions. Right from the top. The government bigwigs were insistent. Inspector, I am the prosecutor, and I alone determine how to present my case. Your warning is noted. Thank you. The prosecution wishes to proceed with submitting this disc as evidence, my lord. Indeed! Bailiff! A metal disc used to play music in a mechanical music box. We already read that, I'm sure. The prosecution has established the accused's motive, opportunity, and baseness of character. There is nothing more to add. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I await your informed decisions and rest my case. Gavel banged. All in favor of Von Zieks? Say aye. I don't believe it. I had the jury on my side for once, for all of 5 minutes, maybe 5 seconds. Oh dear, it wasn't even for 5 minutes, Reno. My lord! Wonder if I might say something at this point. Proceed, Mr. Foreman. Been stumbling about in a bit of a fog up to now, if truth be told, but all of a sudden. The answer's bloody obvious to me and my men. There is only one thing for it. Oh no! We need this to happen, though, Ryunosuke. We always get more information and evidence when we have a summation examination. Very well, the court will hear from the jury. Ladies and gentlemen, you will present your leanings as to the defendant's culpability.
Guilty.
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 Guilty. Guilty. I like how she says it, though. Judge, is it getting a little warm over there for you, sir?
We have a consensus among the jury, it seems.
When you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth.
That's my line. I wrote that for Hurley. Ah, how dare he use it against us?
Don't worry, Iris. I don't think we're finished yet. There's still more to this case than we realize. Yes, and I am literally on the edge of my seat. I need to know. I want to know, like, what are the building blocks to this case? There must be, because there's one thing that I'm absolutely certain of. Gina didn't shoot Mr. Windybank. That's beyond any doubt.
Very well. We will proceed with the second summation examination of the day. Mr. Foreman, are you and the other jurors ready? Gary Deb Squadron is primed and ready for action, sir. Very good. So, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will each explain on what grounds you have now determined the defendant to be guilty.
Judicial findings. The jury's contentions. Once a rogue, always a rogue, I say.
Different breed was law-abiding citizens.
Okay.
As only 2 bullets were found at the scene, I would say the whole case is done and dusted.
You don't need a stereoscope to see the truth here. Every which way you look at it, it was that pickpocket.
I never imagined that simple operation would cause me such grief.
He's still talking about that operation. Oh, I don't like where this guy's going with this again.
The accused attempted a theft on the previous day. I can see I'm in for a busy day ahead.
I am ballistics expert. I have seen many shootings. There's nothing I do not know about guns.
I'm still another theory of mine, which what he's saying sounds like it might lead that way, is that the bullet outside is the one that killed Wendy Banks, but that can't be right. But he just said he's a ballistics expert. Isn't like the ballistic markings on a gun like its fingerprint? So he might know something. He might open up another door for us.
It would seem there is little remaining room for doubt. I have to admit, I was rather bowled over by the argument put forward by the chopping block. But when that fell apart like a house of cards, I saw that I'd jolly well been hoodwinked. Well, no more.
The whole courtroom is turning against me.
It's not fair.
Iris?
That prosecutor's being mean. Just because Jenny's done something she shouldn't have done in the past, that doesn't make her a murderer.
Allow me to savor this fruity vintage, while I savor the spectacle of your fruitless debate on the matter. Here's to the truth coming out. Eventually.
I mean, he wasn't wrong, though, right? That was a huge inconsistency even I noticed.
That's enough preamble. Counsel, proceed with the summation examination.
Wait, did we even ask for the summation examination? The judge just gave it to us?
Yes, my lord.
How cute. Jury examination. The defense's rebuttal.
Once a rogue, always a rogue, I say, different breed to us law-abiding citizens.
Just because Miss Lestrade has a history of pickpocketing, she must be guilty of murder, is that what you're saying?
Ah, well.
Are all members of the British Army so quick to judge?
I beg your pardon? Are you mocking Her Majesty's Armed Forces, the greatest military organization in the world?
No, I'm simply illustrating my point. Making assumptions about people because they're a soldier or a pickpocket is wrong and dangerous.
Well, yes, might have a point there, I suppose.
I always say this. You can't just judge a person based off of some prejudice and conceptions. Like, you have to dig deeper. The truth comes before everything else.
But let's not forget the girl had already shown she had it in her from before. She's clearly a criminal sort through and through, can't deny it.
When you say that she'd shown she'd had it in her, are you referring to this?
Exactly, tried to swipe that one day earlier, Or am I mistaken?
Not exactly. Given that I was actually there at the time, it's hard to refute that.
I've never actually seen the real thing. Can't wait to have a closer look at it.
Oh, yes, of course. Mr. Sholmes did use his caramel bars to make a copy of the disc, didn't he? And then ordered every type of music box he could find from across Europe. Oh yeah, Susato and Sholmes were doing something.
Still don't know what tune it plays though, do we?
It's gonna be one of those ice cream truck tunes, isn't it? I'm joking.
But I'd love to see how the original compares to Hurley's copy.
McGilded's disc. Could it be a clue somehow? Perhaps we should examine it in more detail? Hold up, I didn't even think to look at it again because I feel like I looked at it already, right?
Oh, Runo, look! This is blood!
Yes, you're right. Just a small smear, but definitely blood. Actually, I feel as though I might have noticed that before.
Ah, then it's my time to shine again. Then I'd be waiting forever. Right, hold still with that disc, Runo.
Can we get this done quickly, Iris?
In a flash,
I forgot about her analyzing blood for a second. What color is it going to turn?
lovely bright shade of green again.
Hold up. She didn't say again, but I'm saying again. Like, that's literally the same color on the calendar. Right? And I know that because green's my favorite color, and I remember saying, oh, when the shading turned from green back to red, it caught me off guard. It's the color of the calendar's blood. Wait, that color.
What is it?
It's just that green. It's not the first time we've seen that color, is it? The blood samples portfolio has been updated in the court record. Interesting. Can we tear that off?
Let me go at it. That's the man you defended at court a couple of months ago, isn't it, Runa?
Yes, or rather, mistakenly defended.
I wonder what his name is doing on the back of this disc.
That's a question I'd love to know the answer to myself. We can't pull it off. Well, I guess that was all we needed was the blood sample. Let's go back to that. Green. Is this Shom's blood? I am so confused. Okay. Because that's the thing. We have the colors of the blood, but we don't have names. Right? Like, it's an assumption because of where he fell that it's Wendy Banks' blood on the storeroom floor. That might not be his blood. He could have been shot, but with his finger, would he have cut himself? I don't know. I need to go a little further. I have to go a little further.
As only 2 bullets were found at the scene, I would say the whole case is done and dusted.
Hold it!
I like how you phrased that, but no. It's the number of bullets that has you convinced.
Only 2 bullets were fired, and the 2 guns that fired them have been examined by the police. When the parlor maid asks me how many are invited for dinner, I always tell her to count the table settings.
Well, that's logical, I suppose.
Although,
Yes.
sometimes after dining, crockery does go missing. 1 or 2 guests rather like to find china.
Does your employer dine with thieves? That's shocking considering how she views things.
So I suppose, if there was another bullet somewhere of which we were unaware,
I'd have to reconsider my position. Okay, we're gonna have to talk to the guy at the end. We're gonna get more information for sure. A 3rd bullet somewhere on the scene? Could that be possible? It's impossible for now. Let's go with that. We don't want to go down this line of reasoning just yet. I don't think we have enough information. Unfortunately, only 2 bullets were discovered by the police during their investigation.
yes, I know.
Right.
And I don't imagine the good men of Scotland Yard would have overlooked anything. If I missed a bullet while I was cleaning his lordship's office, well, I should receive a sound scolding, I don't doubt.
And he should receive a visit from the police, perhaps. It sounds like a crime scene to me.
A 3rd bullet.
It would completely turn things around if there was no one, wouldn't it?
Do you think we might find one lying around somewhere?
I don't know how. We're not even at the crime scene anymore. You don't need a stereoscope to see the truth here. Every which way you look at it, it was that pickpocket. Hey.
I never imagined that simple operation would cause me such grief.
I want to go to this guy first. So what is he talking about? Would you please stop muttering about things that have nothing to do with this trial, sir? The defendant's life is on the line here. Out of everyone in the dang state of London, you would think that there would be something going on here.
Where the thing is, I couldn't really say that it has nothing to do with this trial, to be honest.
Huh?
I mean, there's no question that the man was shot, but the bullet has simply vanished from his stomach. It's quite inexplicable, don't you think?
That's what I'm saying. I always wonder where the heck is the bullet? It had to have left him if there was a big fat blood stain in front of him, right? Where did the bullet go? We never recovered that bullet. I almost don't want to ask, but the surgery you've been muttering about all this time, you were operating on...
What was the fellow's name?
I didn't even put 6 and 7 together.
What was the fellow's name now?
Ehrlich? No. Airlock? No.
Hairlock?
Sherlock Sholmes, by any chance? Oh, this bothers me that his name is Sherlock Sholmes in this game.
Yes, good lord! It was that Hairlock fellow!
What?
You're the surgeon that operated on Mr. Sholmes?
I mean, this helps us, right?
That's right, using the very latest anesthesia techniques, I might add. It's a fairly major op, I can tell you.
This is crazy!
Let me see, the fellow was brought in not long after midnight, if I remember correctly. He said he'd been shot by some criminal or other, so I opened him up like a shot. But the funny thing is, I went over his insides with a fine-tooth comb
and left a dang scalpel inside of him
and couldn't find the bullet anywhere. So I'm afraid I had to throw up my hands and just stitch the fellow back up.
And left a scalpel in him. Every time I think about that, it just leaves me sore. I hate to state the obvious, but yes.
Surely that's because the bullet is still at the scene of the shooting? The counsel for the defense is correct, as is clearly shown in this photographic print. The bullet that the Skulkin brothers fired at Mr. Sholmes hit him in the stomach region.
Oh. It exited his body and lodged into the shop wall where the calendar was hanging by the door. I think you'll find it's really quite simple if you just consider the problem three-dimensionally.
Oh, who do you think I am, son?
Well, juror number 4 is about the best I can do. Yeah, we don't know your real name.
As soon as I saw the wound to the man's stomach, I flipped him over.
Like a pancake? Are you saying that you checked his back?
Of course I did. And there wasn't a trace of injury. No sign that the bullet had left the body at all.
I freaking knew it! That bullet has nothing to do with him. What? I am so confuzzled, though. I am so confuzzled, it's insane.
That's the point! The only logical conclusion was that the bullet was still somewhere in the man's innards! Which is exactly why I said about slicing him up! And I'm still none the wiser even now! How many times do I have to say it? Can somebody please explain how it happened? Can somebody please solve the mystery?
I honestly completely don't blame this guy. When I am met with a very good mystery, I have to know. I cannot stop until the puzzle is solved. It's almost as much of a mystery as how this jury was put together. I don't think that's mysterious. I feel like Strongheart probably has some hands in that. Like, none of this feels random. None of this feels by, like, coincidence or chance.
The mystery of where that bullet ended up is infuriating. Where's an expert
when you need one? Oh, the ballistics guy. We're gonna skip her too. We're gonna go here.
I am ballistics expert. I've seen many shootings. There is nothing I do not know about guns.
We're gonna go to this guy.
I thought you were just a tourist.
Ballistics expert, yeah.
Good day. I am visiting London for sightseeing. I would like to take bus to Crystal Tower, please.
There's no way he's just a visiting tour. So you're a ballistics expert. Who knew?
I have much experience with guns.
Ah.
I have lived through many, how do you say, extreme, violent bath of, no, blood of,
Ah, extreme violent bloodbaths, perhaps?
Da, those extreme violent bloodbaths. English is very difficult tongue.
I can't blame him. I cannot blame him. English is very difficult. It's like there's, especially if you're like looking at the difference between British and American English, there's differences there. So it's just a whole lot of differences. Plus then you have words that look like you should pronounce it this way, but that's not how they're actually pronounced. It's bonkers. Considering the sort of people you associate with, I'm surprised you still have a tongue.
Anyway, if you have questions about bullets and guns, you ask me. There is nothing I do not know. No mystery I cannot solve.
He's very confident in his knowledge of guns, that's for sure.
But if possible, please, only in Russian language.
He's not very confident in his knowledge of English, though, is he?
No, still we should bear it in mind. He's our man, if there's a mystery about guns or bullets. Von Zeeks has managed to convince everyone.
And you have eliminated the impossible, he said. But he hasn't.
If we're going to fight back, we need more material. We have to fight back. We have to turn this trial around again. We spoke to him. We spoke to her. Let's speak to, new jury number 3 guy. So if I've understood correctly, you need 2 pictures. A left eye one and a slightly different right eye one. Exactly. Then you can see the scene in 3 dimensions. Like this. So, if we have 2 bullets, I don't suppose you can see anything useful with them? I think you'll find that no matter how much you squint, the truth of the situation always looks the same here. The only person who could have shot the victim is that girl in the dock. How can you be so sure of that? Think about it. The Skulkin brothers shot the great detective, didn't they? Yes, that's been mentioned once or twice or 1,200 times at this point. Well then, surely it's coming into focus now, isn't it? This is a waste of time. I'm not going to change this man's mind anytime soon. No, I don't think he provides anything this round. We might have to press that guy again too. Go wait though. What do you mean you're in a busy day? In for a busy day? I've got to say stop. Excuse me, stop. I am a communications officer, stop. A communications officer? Does that have something to do with sending telegrams? Everything from personal messages written by members of the public to the latest news in the capital. I convert all the messages into Morse code and type it out to the entire world electronically. To the entire world? Thousands of miles of cable under the sea. Stop. Worldwide communication network. Stop. Information transmitted to and from all corners of the globe. Stop. Ah, yes. She was getting equally worked up about radio waves or the like before, wasn't she? I specialize in communicating information from government departments and newspaper offices. I see. I'm sure I shall have to wire the newspaper reports of today's guilty verdict later. So no sleep for me tonight, I imagine. Let's just finish the trial first, shall we? So we have spoken to everyone. Right? I wonder... Hey, he knows. How about we pit them against each other, right?
Objection!
Those 2 statements clearly contradict the idea that I do. Oh my gosh. Those 2 statements clearly contradict the idea that all I do is pit jurors against each other.
Ooh, a ballistics expert.
Ryunosuke, that was good. That was so good. I love it. I did that. All I do is pit jurors against each other. I love it. I love it. Pitting. P-I-T-T. On the night in question, Mr. Sholmes was shot by one of the Skulkin brothers. But since there was no sign of an exit wound on his back, we must assume the bullet didn't pass through him. However, no bullet was found lodged in Mr. Sholmes' body either. Furthermore, a bullet was found lodged in the wall of the shop where Mr. Sholmes was shot. I'm still going to say that that's from, Windy Banks, maybe? Juror number 6. Hello, my name is Valen. Pleased to meet you. This apparent contradiction in the facts that is so clearly troubling juror number 4. Are you able to explain the mystery? I have seen very rarely similar situation in Motherland. It was night. There was blizzard. I was running away along mountain road in freezing cold.
Golly!
The snow was piling high on both sides of the road. It was very narrow and dangerous. My prisoners had hunting rifles and they were on dog sleds. Mental note: don't ask too many questions. I was shot from behind and I fell down in snow. And this situation was very similar to what I heard today from Doctor. They could not find bullet in my body and no sign of, what do you say, exit wound.
Then where did the bullet go?
The judge is so invested. Bullet never hit me.
Well, if it never hit you, why did you fall down?
Bullet
hit a frozen wall of ice very close to my side.
What?
One small piece, very sharp, broke away from lump of ice and pierced my body. It made deep wound that looked just like bullet wound. Good gracious! Of course, piece of ice quickly melted inside me. And that is the solution to mystery of disappearing bullet.
I am still confused. In fact, I'm more confused than I was before.
But that doesn't answer the question at all. The shooting happened in a pawnbroker shop. Not some snow, not some snowy mountain road in another country.
I have to agree with the guy. Like, there was no way they could have been that prepared, right? I mean, granted, I feel like they were taking orders from somebody else who could have been just as prepared as all that, but I am very confused.
Just an idea, but we might not be looking at exactly the same scenario here.
Bruno, exactly was Harley shot again?
Well, according to the report, in his stomach. Sort of around this area, I think.
No, that's precisely where he always wears a little pouch on his boat.
A pouch? Actually, I might have noticed something like that.
Yes, a pouch. It's where he keeps 3 glass vials of very dangerous chemicals that he uses in his investigations.
What? Really? Doctor, where's the pouch Mr. Sholmes was wearing? Well, fellow had nothing like that on his person when he arrived at the hospital, as far as I remember. If I may. Lord Von Zieks, while I realize it is forbidden for the prosecution to interject during a summation examination. Interesting. I should inform the defense that I have the pouch in question in the antechamber outside the courtroom. Sorry? As I understand it, when the police arrived on the scene and found Mr. Sholmes injured, they removed the pouch in order to assess the wound. Ah! Thank goodness! I thought I was getting forgetful for a moment.
No! You're the last person in this room that's forgetful. Absolutely. Since then, it has been in my safekeeping, along with all other evidence related to the case. I can personally vouch for the fact that it has not been touched since the incident occurred. I still need those other pictures, darn it. Like, they didn't have 2 cameras set up, and we're not going to get the photographs from the other camera. I feel like there is something in those pictures.
Very well, while extremely unconventional during a summation examination, I must demand the prosecution present the items in question with all speed.
I'm surprised he's offering this. Like, he doesn't really get benefit out of this.
Bring forth Mr. Erlock Sholmes' pouch. I see. So this is the pouch worn by Mr. Sholmes on the night in question, is it?
Look at that. One of the files is broken, and the letter around it is scorched black. It's almost as if the file exploded.
Exploded?
So, that night, the bullet from the Skulkin brothers' gun struck Mr. Sholmes' pouch.
And it was the glass file exploding that caused the fellow's injury. This bullet did not penetrate victim, but was deflected into the wall of the shop.
I still don't like anything that's happening right now. Is this going to be like that whole Edgeworth elevator thing where Von Karma got shot outside the elevator? Because there are still blood stains over the calendar. Like, we can't just ignore that. There's still something very wrong with that picture.
A delightfully complex aroma. Well, it would appear one mystery has been solved at least. There has no bearing on the truth of this case.
I don't know. Dang it, this is so confusing.
The bungling and burgling brothers shot the detective, and the accused shot the pawnbroker. The pertinent facts of the case remain unaltered.
Ah!
But at least the mystery is solved. I can sleep easy tonight.
Yes, you can. Take off those gloves, darn it.
Thank you, young man. Ah, thank you very much.
Glad I could help.
Due to his bearing on the conundrum just solved, the court will sequester the scruffy pouch as evidence.
At least pouch isn't scruffy.
The pouch Mr. Shums was wearing around his waist at the time of the shooting. One of the glass files is smashed and there are scorch marks around it.
Now the summation examination. It would appear the defense is somewhat struggling to alter opinion,
Please, my lord. A little more time. After all, that's a new piece of evidence. It could be a valuable clue. You can't afford to overlook anything here, Ryunosuke. There's still a way to turn this around. Somehow. I'm sure of it. Okay, let me see here. Well, I went the wrong way. There's a lot of evidence. I'm surprised by how much evidence there is. It's really scorched badly just here.
Oh, the sharp is broken. Look.
This must be where the bullet hit then.
Let me see.
What the? Iris, look! Behind where the broken file was, do you see it?
Ah, that's Skulker Brothers' bullet.
What a stroke of luck that it hit his pouch. This is an amazing discovery. This is a scary discovery. What are you saying, dude? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I'm telling you, man, that blue blood is not his. It's always been that green blood. I am so confused, though. What this means is there were 3 bullets fired at Windy Banks that night.
We found exactly what that juror was talking about.
The 3rd bullet. It's time to press that juror again, I think. The projectile we discovered lodged in Mr. Shum's pouch. Man. He's lucky that he had that on, honestly. Oh, wait, wrong person. Yeah, I should have to. No! See, I always get confused. I'm sorry. We're just gonna skip this. We already read all this. We don't really need to go over it again. Time is not on our side in this game. It's not like Ganosia. Okay, a 3rd bullet. We can now finally prove it. Allow me to show you then. The 3rd bullet.
Take that!
Here it is. We discovered it just now. Yes, on the night in question in Windy Banks Pawnbrokery, another bullet was fired. What is this new trickery, you Nipponese conjurer? Where did you find that bullet? It was lodged inside Mr. Shum's pouch. What? This pouch was removed from around Mr. Shum's waist before he was taken to the hospital. And since then, it has been touched by no one.
Do you mean to say the shot fired by the Skulkin brothers that night?
Yes, as your lordship has surmised, it hit this pouch.
But that makes no sense whatsoever. We already know the whereabouts of the bullet fired at Mr. Shum's. It's clearly visible in this photographic print.
Ah! 2 guns from the scene have already been submitted into the court record as evidence.
Yes, that of Mr. Windybank, and that belonging to the Skulkin brothers.
An examination of both guns revealed that only a single bullet has been fired from each.
Ah.
But that must mean... That's right. We now know that on the night in question, 3 bullets were fired. However, only 2 bullets were fired from the guns recovered from the crime scene. And until that incontrovertible inconsistency is somehow explained, we cannot and must not pass judgment. Ark! Ah! Bullet to my heart!
Order! 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 sir. While this summation examination remains incomplete, the court has been presented with new facts. Facts that would appear to shake the very foundations upon which the case against the defendant has been built. As is my prerogative in this situation, I hereby temporarily suspend the summation examination. By Jupiter!
This is a first. Are we going back into the scene of the crime? Like, are we literally about to leave? What?
Bailiff, bring the witnesses back to the stand at once.
This is different. Oh, I thought this was okay. So maybe this is not what I thought it was going to be.
Witnesses!
Governor!
Were you listening to the proceedings while the defense carried out the summation examination?
We was, Governor. We was.
Perhaps we can dispense with the tedious preamble. Simply answer this one question. A third bullet has been identified at the scene of the crime. What do you make of that?
Make of it, Gov. I done make nothing of nothing if...
Is it one of yours?
God blimey.
Gov, God blimey, not a chance.
In that case, did you have an accomplice?
What? What? Never! Skulker brothers work alone!
It's just the two of us. That's our tribe, Mark. How soon we forget poor Sulky. I was getting ready to say Inspector Gregson was supposed to be part of this merry band of misfits.
Only 2 of the bullets from the crime scene originated from the firearms we have in evidence. The third bullet was fired from another gun. Where is it?
Lummy, that's in the head scratcher.
Give me the other photos, Von Zeeks. Come on. It's time to divvy up the other evidence.
Counsel for the defense.
Yes.
Would you like to hear your thoughts regarding these new developments? The third bullet, and the mysterious missing firearm, from whence it came.
Thinking back over all the testimony we've heard, and all the evidence we've seen, I think I'm starting to form a picture. A picture of what really happened that night. Unfortunately, this is escaping me. Okay, so Sholmes definitely got shot by the Skulkin brothers. But I'm still a little confuzzled on the bloodstains and how they pertain to everything, and the locker room mystery and stuff, and how Gina ended up with the gun again. There's still stuff, it's just still stuff that's not adding up. I don't know, maybe I am missing that one thread that ties it all together and it's escaping me, but I don't have it. My lord, I think it's clear what this third bullet tells us about the Skulkin brothers. It had a secret accomplice, it had another gun, it's nothing to do with them. Let's go this route. On that night at Windy Bank's pawnbrokery, the brothers must have been working with a third man. The witnesses are clearly doing their best to cover up the existence of this accomplice. But the evidence all points to the fact that there was someone else present. Someone carrying a gun.
Objection!
He's like, for this story, I definitely need another glass of wine.
An accomplice, you say? Pixwill.
I can't stop smiling.
These protracted proceedings have already forced us to endure 2 summation examinations. Yet in all that time, there has been not a murmur of a third man. This apparently
reflect being exists.
The court must be shown hard evidence. Without it, this fantasy would be crushed.
I can't. It's so funny.
The prosecution demands answers on 2 counts. Firstly, proof, evidence that this accomplice was ever at the scene of the crime. And secondly,
okay, we have the disc.
The identity of this spurious character.
Okay, I think we have this. The Skulkins are lying. I know that. Yeah, I don't think anyone. But how can I ascertain the identity of the person they're hiding? With the disc that Von Zeeks was so kindly divvying up to us.
Well, Consul,
Because without that disc, we never could have came this far. I'm supposed to prove the existence of this accomplice and reveal the person's identity even. In response to the prosecution's demands, my lord, the defense is ready. We are ready. We were born ready. The defense is ready. I believe I can provide all the answers the prosecution demands. So, my Nipponese friend, despite the swimming eyes, you seem to think you have something to say. This promises to be interesting. I have to push forward now. There's no other option. I need to use every single piece of evidence available to me if I will make a difference. Oh, if it will make a difference.
in that case, Consul, I would ask you to present the evidence without delay. On the night in question, in the moments leading up to the death of the victim, what proof have you that there was a third intruder present at the scene?
We're just gonna present the folder. The evidence is right here, in this portfolio.
By Jove! That portfolio again, is it?
Do you expect the court to rifle through your papers itself? Be more specific. You claim one of those blood samples proves the presence of this third intruder. Well, which one is it? Which sample suggests? Okay, so which order do I present it in? This one or this one? I guess it's this one. And then we'll present that.
What am I looking at here? There appears to be some green paint or such like around the bullet hole in the middle of the calendar.
That's a blood stain, my lord.
A blood stain?
Green blood, curious even for you. Is the court to understand that the intruder was some unhuman creature? Well, you did call him wraith-like. It's something developed by Mr. Herlock Sholmes. By the great detective.
New invention, stop. Not yet appeared in stories, stop. It's this, you see. It doesn't have a name yet, though. This fogger sprays a chemical that reacts with the different elements in people's blood to change its color.
Different elements? With people's blood?
Yes, everyone's blood is slightly different, you see, because it's made up of different elements. So by seeing what color it changes to, you can tell in a flash whose blood it is.
Oh, that brings a whole extra dimension to looking at blood.
Talk of blood in courtroom, stop. Very exciting, stop.
As an example, this one shows the blood of the victim, Mr. Windybank.
Oh, striking blue.
Yes, so you see the green color of this blood stain on the calendar shows that somebody else was shot in the main part of the shop. Now hold your fire there, young man. Could be from some unrelated incident, couldn't it? No, it's not unrelated. The date showing on the calendar is the date on which Mr. Windybank was killed. By golly! Therefore, we can assume that whoever was shot on the same day. That's how the calendar relates back. I knew it was going to somehow.
Then whose blood is it?
That's the question, isn't it? Well, the Skulkin brothers and the Stan don't appear to be suffering from any gunshot injuries. Which means it must be the blood of somebody else. The third intruder, in fact.
Objection!
Whose identity the court is still waiting to hear. You can't delay this any longer, my learned friend. Who is this alleged third intruder? Let's go! Egbert Benedict! Get out here. Eglin's best. The man's name. Da, 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 is Egbert Benedict. Eglin's best! Wait.
Who on earth are you talking about, Consul?
He paid a visit to Miss Windybank's pawnbrokery on the afternoon before the incident took place, when the accused attempted to deceive the pawnbroker into releasing this article into her possession. That explains why we needed his blood sample. And it's still fake that we got his blood sample because he was wearing dang gloves. Now, I can understand that thing is sharp, but it can't possibly be that sharp. That's right. The man identified by the defense, Mr. Egbert Benedict, then attempted to take the article from the defendant by force.
Broker!
Oh, Broca.
Yes, sir.
I believe this filthy pocket thief has just redeemed an article from you now.
Yes, The article in question belongs to me. I demand for it to be returned at once.
Now that's a lie! What are you trying to pull?
Give me back my overcoat, you wastrel. And needless to say, any music box disc too.
Ah, I should have known that he was in connection to them. Because they kind of do that same little posy stuff. Whatever that is. What time is it? Okay. Inspector Gregson was there at the time and can attest to what happened. In the end, it was the inspector himself who took the disc.
Can you corroborate this account, Inspector?
Yes, my lord. That's more or less what happened. In the interest of being thorough, I asked Windybank for a print showing the fellow. Taken from one of his red-handed recorder gubbinesses.
Interesting. We were in there too at the time, weren't we? Yes! That's him talking to Mr. Windybank that morning.
And you claim this man is the brother's accomplice?
Well, Mr. and Mr. Skalkin? Never seen a geezer before in me life. This guy is big business. Big business. Like, I am pretty sure Horace and Dane Jasper here don't want any trouble from that guy. On me life, Guff. On me life. Never seen him. They do not want dealings with that guy.
Well, somewhat unsurprisingly, it appears our witnesses disagree with the assertion.
I'm sure your lordship recalls my learned Nipponese friend's actual assertion, which was that he could prove the identity of the alleged accomplice.
Yes, and I can. Then show us the evidence. This is getting good. I just need my buttery popcorn. I kind of like the way that they're painted. Like, it kind of looks painted in some ways.
I agree. We must see proof that the clean-cut gentleman in the photograph is the filthy criminal you say he is.
Dun. This is the last piece of evidence. I've had a feeling that something has been missing in this trial from the very start. Yeah. But now, I'm going to drag it kicking and screaming into the courtroom.
Are you ready to present your answer to the court then, Consul?
Yes, my lord. The defense will present the evidence now. Proof that the man pictured in this photographic print was in fact the person struck by the third bullet. No! I accidentally I tried to press over, but it goes so slow sometimes. Here it is. This is the irrefutable evidence. And I can't skip it.
I'm sorry, Consul, but I failed to see the connection.
Oh, it seems my learned friend is wide for of the mark again. In fact, he has just shot himself in the foot. Darn it! I'm trying to do this. I went too quickly. I hope I don't need that. I hope I will not need that. I'll have to try that. I have to try that one more time, even though my foot is killing me here.
I might remind you, Consul, of the gravity of the choices you make in this courtroom. Think very carefully.
I did! I knew the answer! Yeah. We do not have time. I want to get further. Okay, on. There we go. As I mentioned before, on the afternoon of the day in question, the defendant attempted, deceitfully, admittedly, to reclaim this disc from Windybanks.
Which is when the aforementioned Egbert Benedict appeared on the scene, I believe. This man that then attempted to purloin the article from the defendant's possession, no?
That's correct, my lord. I myself was present at the time. It was following this that a minor incident occurred.
But of course, sir. Here's the disc for you.
Very well. Then I shall bid you farewell. Say goodbye to style.
Wait a minute. That disc is mine!
Ah! What do you think you're doing, you little tramp? You've drawn blood, you filthy animal!
Being a music box disc, it has countless small but sharp metal protrusions over its surface. Those protrusions cause Mr. Benedict's finger to bleed, and the resulting smear of blood is still visible on the disc now.
Goodness, a bloodstain, is it?
My assistant and I have just analyzed the bloodstain here in this very courtroom.
Yo, Zane, a trusty fogger gun.
Yes. And we added the results to this portfolio.
I say,
It's green.
Wait. Who was number 5?
It's exactly the same color as the blood around the calendar.
The evidence is conclusive. The man calling himself Mr. Egbert Benedict, who was in Wendy Banks earlier in the day, is the accomplice who was present at the scene of the crime that same night. That music.
Look at those two brothers now. They're sweating buckets.
They've been sweating buckets. Oi, what are you talking about? It's boiling in here. My lord, it is the opinion of the defense that Mr. Egbert Benedict should be summoned to the courtroom to testify.
It would certainly seem that we can ill afford to ignore this gentleman's apparent presence.
Objection.
this has gone on long enough now, this flagrant ignorance of the mechanics of law. Sherlock Holmes, you say? Yes, I've heard the name. A protagonist in a series of short stories for the vulgar classes, a god of detection or some such. And now you employ chemical substances devised by this fantastical persona in the highest court in the land.
I knew he was gonna have a problem with this, because I'm like, are we really using this gadget as proof that the green blood on the calendar is the same blood as I'm like, there's no way. And sure enough, here it is. But then it's Ace Attorney, so I kept my mouth shut because Ace Attorney likes to do things like this.
Do you expect us to take you seriously? The samples made by this plaything are not fit to be called evidence. So the bloodstain turned a shade of green. What of it? Here's to you successfully proving that no other blood in the world will turn the same color.
Ah, well. The leg!
And pray, do not even think of suggesting that we should take Mr. Sholmes' word for it.
I was actually not going to say that. I was going to say something else.
Is he right? Is Mr. Sholmes' concoction a load of rubbish?
I don't know. I mean, he is a great detective.
What are you talking about? We can't let him get away with that.
I knew it would come to this. Of course, Mr. Sholmes' invention isn't going to be recognized by any official body. But what other choice did I have?
I'm just remembering what Father Christmas over there said before.
Father Christmas!
About how he was temporarily suspending the summation examination.
She's talking about the judge! That's hilarious. Ah!
In other words, the examination isn't over yet, is it?
Good grief! What did you just say?
I think he's gonna say, what did you just call me? Because that is still hilarious. Father Christmas.
What did you just say, young girl?
In a summation examination, the decision as to whether or not the trial continues is in the hands of the 6 jurors, isn't it? So the way I see it, it doesn't matter what certain other people think of Haley's invention. At least, not for now.
Yes, she's right.
Young lady, you have quite the devious mind!
And with that, we have to end this episode. By golly, we have to end it. But I don't want to. I really want to continue on right now. Which I know I can. There's nothing that prevents me from stopping this episode and going to the next. But it's just like when you're flowing, you just don't want to break at all, you know? But anyways, thanks so much for watching. There's just been so much going on in this particular trial. Egbert Benedict himself. I mean, I knew that there was going to be more to him, not just that little tiny blurb we had earlier. But then again, who knew? Because of the fact that we had those other witnesses that only came in the Garadeb's whatever. Like, honestly, in this game, I just have no idea who was more important than who at this point. But anyways, thanks so much for watching, and until next time, I hope you all have a great and very, very wonderful day. Bye.